your hair. Conversations with the Pumzilla, the girl next door. You know when you wait for production to count you down and tell you. So I've been ready. But hello. So today, I am excited. I have my favorite person, I know I say that all the time. The beautiful thing about conversations is people that I've met before in my life and they've made a serious impact, and I always want to have that conversations with them. But this one I'm having it on camera. I have Sibusiso, before I say it the way he says it, but I have Sibusiso Molimi. I know he's going to introduce himself the way he does, the way I like it. He is an entrepreneur. You know, I like before I would say motivational speaker, but you know, when you say public speaker, there's difference.
Yeah.
And also a coach.
Yeah.
There's so many facets of you. So I have Sibusiso here who will tell you almost everything about himself. But because he is in the space of talking, of speaking, of coaching, so I thought to myself, this conversation I'm going to prepare. I don't know how to script and prepare, but today I have prepared. Welcome to Conversations.
Thank you so much. Finally.
So I can now take Sibusiso.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're gonna have round 2. But let's see. So how are you, darling?
How am I? I'm okay.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I had a conversation with a friend yesterday, and the question "How am I?" is there's no set word for it, right?
Yeah.
And then I said to him, you know, someone asked me how's life, and I said life is lifing.
Yeah.
Because it's life.
It's life.
You know, it's a roller coaster. It's you have your ups, but I'm okay.
I like the slangs now because they help you explain things easier. No, life is lifing.
Yeah.
No, we're going.
Yeah, we're going.
Let you go. I was like, okay, now you know. it has explained everything. So before we dig into it, you know, conversations, and I can safely say you're also one of my coaches.
Yeah.
You know, paid and unpaid.
Yeah.
I like that, paid and unpaid. Yeah. We have coffees together. We talk about stuff. We you know, all of those things. And I'm excited for you to say you will be here. But with conversation, we don't start to talk about what you do now, what you do best. Like I know you always do better.
Sure. We
talk about, let's just take people so that they know why I am so interested to have this conversation with you. Who is Usbu Upumapi as a young boy from Ekasi? You know, take us back to that boy, not the international boy, but let's start with that boy.
Sure. So first and foremost, thank you for the invite, for the opportunity. You know, my late mentor, Dr. John Dibane, would always say, it's to get up and to speak, or just to be on a platform to speak, is a privilege that one should never take it for granted. So he used to call it the privilege of the platform, because he understood the power of words, right? And Dr. Madi Grotha then says that words are powerful because they have the ability to make people's hearts soar, which is SORE, but they also have the ability to make people's hearts soar, which is SOAR. So when you are then given a platform or an opportunity like this, I don't take it for granted, and I do hope what I'm going to share will build people and will inspire people and will challenge people. So your question, who is Sbu?
You see, you know, when you are mentored and when you are speaking to your mentor, this is the moment where it's like, don't mind me, I'm taking notes.
Okay, I know, go ahead. Go ahead.
You see what you do to us.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. So to answer your question, Sibusiso, born and bred in Soweto, Southwestern Township, Orlando West, Ngasekhilani. So I spent the first few years of my life with my late mom and my dad, who I'm currently staying with, and then no mama, no baba, then separated. So I spent some time at Dobsonville, and then I went back to Orlando West. And growing up, I was really, I think, blessed. You know, I posted something this morning that I resonate with, and it's always said by Theo Baloyi. Theo Baloyi is the founder of Ipatu.
Oh, yes.
And Theo Baloyi always says he's a product of opportunities. So this is someone who was given an opportunity by someone, through a bursary to go and further your studies, etc. So I mentioned this because I believe that I'm a product of opportunities, right?
Yeah, right.
I got my first bursary when I was 9. So I moved from Vuleka North Riding, and I went to a school called St. Peter's Prep in Rivonia, which is just down the road. Yeah. So I moved from a public school to a private school. I moved from this environment to another environment, and then from then on I was exposed, right? Yeah. I always say that exposure is important, because you cannot be what you're not exposed to, right?
Oh, you cannot be what
you can't be what you're not exposed to. So, because then I was exposed to this environment, right? I come from the township, right? So
the exposure is different.
It's totally different. Yeah. So I live in the township, but I spend a lot of my time at boarding school. Yeah. So I'm exposed to different types of sports. Yeah. I know that I was the guy that brought through cricket.
Yeah.
Because I was exposed to cricket. So I would take the bats from a school and then look, now it's just like cricket. Yeah. The guys would know when I come back from recess, and now we're on holiday.
Yeah.
I've arrived. So I was exposed to that. Then I became that guy, and growing up, I became the guy who encouraged academics. So if the guys wanted to play, I would be reading. And not because I thought I was better, it's because of the environment that I was in at St. Peter's Prep. Because now I was competing Nabelung, right? And I knew the importance of education and school then. So I needed to make sure that there's a return on investment, right? Because a bursary is a blessing and a burden.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's a blessing because you've got the opportunity, but it also becomes a burden because of the pressure.
You need to live up to,
That's it.
It comes with a price.
Comes with a price.
You're not going to pay it back, but it comes with a price.
Huge price. So in that case, you have to make that opportunity count and make the most out of it.
Yeah.
And I posted something this morning. I said, it's a quote that I came across. It says, the opportunity of a lifetime must be seized in the lifetime of the opportunity. The opportunity.
Funny, I have a question about books and quotes. And I know, we're
already moving.
You see, I know.
I'm already in, because I'm led by the Spirit, so I already see your questions.
Please repeat that.
So, the opportunity of a lifetime must be seized in the lifetime of the opportunity. There are opportunities that have a time span, a timeline, a deadline. And if you don't maximize it, that opportunity will never come back. It's like the Gautrain train.
Yeah.
If you're 1 minute or 2 minutes late, it's gone. Right? And I haven't always maximized those opportunities, but the ones that I got at St. Peter's, I made the most out of them. Right? And then, to cut the long story short, Ngasuka from St. Peter's, that's the beginning. Right, so I've got a 4-year bursary. I've got to make sure that from that 4-year bursary, I maximize it. I make the most out of it. Otherwise, I'm going to
Oh yeah.
And
that's back on your mind.
You don't want to go back. So that's one of the things that kept on driving me, right? And then I went to this private school, and I was teased because of the way that I spoke.
Okay.
Right now, I don't want to go there. I'm phone where but if you put and you spend 5 years in China, you won't be speaking the same. You will not be speaking because of that.
I can relate because Mfunde Olundi Emahlabathini. Like a typical Soweto girl from Edlamin.
Yes.
So I know the feeling.
And then I was teased. So just to cut the long story short, I then got my second bursary. So I excelled at St. Peter's, right? And when I do share my story, I look to share nuggets as well, which can get people to think that at times it's not that you're not talented or gifted. You're just not in an environment that inspires you, that challenges you. And for me, it's always about the eyes that you use to look at the environment that you're in. So what do I mean by this?
Yeah.
Right, you may be saying, yeah, but Spoong, so look, Shin, what's there to what's there to be inspired and be empowered about? So the eyes that you look at could say, I want to make sure that where I am is better than what it is right now.
Yeah.
But then somebody else can look at that and say, yeah, but so look, Shin, you're fine. Right? So, excuse me and you are seeing the same thing. We're in the same environment. But because we've got different lenses and different perspectives, we don't think the same. And you need to move out from where you are.
What you're saying, because sometimes we are in the same environment, but we don't think and look at it the same and like absorb it the same for output.
What dictates how you look at it is what you've been exposed to. So because ngiphumile lokishini ngayima sababusini sengibone enye life, uma sengibuyela back elokishini, I'm like, no, but there's better. There's more, because why? I've been exposed. And I always just encourage people to leave where they are and be exposed. And sometimes that's all they need. You just need to be exposed to a completely different environment, to a different culture, to a different way of living. You will look at life differently.
Sure.
Right.
Then before you move on, before the bursary, before you moved, what were your dreams and ambitions before the exposure? Did you know your dreams and ambitions before then?
To be honest with you, I can't remember them.
Okay.
I just know that I wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
Because I heard that doctors earn a lot of money.
Okay.
Now you've got a piano artist who's earning more than a doctor. Now it's now it's another story now. I wanted to become a doctor. There's a doctor just up the road from Ekai, Orlando. Dr. Nkosi. He's still running his practice right now. I mean, this is, I don't know how many decades later. And my mom used to take me to him, right? And once again, like, I think I should write a book on exposure, because I'd never been exposed to anything outside of that. Besides going to a doctor and seeing what he does. That's why I wanted to become a doctor. But the other things of traveling, writing a book, etc., those things were not there. No, they were not there.
So the exposure is something very big.
How are you thinking about it if you have not been exposed to it?
True.
You can't.
These are the nuggets. You see, I knew. So conversations with the girl next door, you know, now with the conversation as it's going, I know you've been exposed to so many people. Based on the journey, based on what you did. I like how we're moving the story. Then let's go after the second bursary. What happens to you?
Layers 2. So the first one was to St. Peter's, then the second one was to St. Albans. That was a 5-year bursary. And after that bursary,
we need to unplug it. Conversations with the Pumza and the girl next door. Studio life, hey, we have directors and all that. We will be right back. We are back in conversations with the Pumza and the girl next door. So we were talking about the second bursary. Then we're still sharing each year as a young man.
The second one was to St. Albans College in Pretoria. And that was for 5 years. So how that bursary came about was St. Peter's Prep.
Before, did you apply for both bursaries, or you were selected?
I was selected. I didn't apply.
You didn't apply? Cool.
Talk about grace. And I didn't apply. I didn't even know that there were bursaries. And I wasn't the smartest guy, but I was also not the dumbest guy. I think, if you're not smart, then you were. So St. Peter's has a relationship with St. Albans. It's like a feeder school. So what you'll see with a lot of the top private schools is that they have like a primary school, and they take the top achievers from that primary school. And there's a lot that we can learn. And then they bring them into that school. Right, and St. Peter's had a relationship with St. Albans, and then I went for interviews, and then I got that bursary, and that bursary was from the class of 1969, if I'm not mistaken. So, class of 1969, these are guys who matriculated in 1969, the power of relationships, a lot that we can learn, right? So I received this bursary in 2007. These guys did matric in 1969. They were then able to fund.
They come together.
They stay together and they put money together.
Yeah.
They were then able to fund my education, everything at St. Albans, right? And when I left St. Albans, the school fees at that time for that year was just over 100,000 rand.
Yeah.
So that was an investment of close to about 500,000, 500,000.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the overseas trips.
Yeah.
Right. So there it was 5 years once again. Right. So I must make sure I maximize.
Other blessing and another burden for
the burden as well. Yeah. Because if you don't, uzobuyela back. You don't want to look for somebody else.
Yeah.
If you don't perform,
because they know who they're looking for.
They know who they're looking for. So you've got to keep the standard.
It's not you.
You've got to keep the standard.
Yeah.
And as I look back, as I reflect, we're speaking about journeys. I look at the importance of having a strong support structure.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, no mama, no baba, and at that time, my relationship with my dad wasn't as close as it is now. But the guys who were doing extremely well, Francois Stradom, Adrian Boysen, these were Afrikaans guys, right? And the support from their family was, and you see it, man. It's like we can even just have an entire conversation about the support from abazali, like simple things like going to a, when parents call the parents to come and speak about the performance of the child, or on Saturdays, because every Saturday we'll be playing sports.
Yeah.
They'll be there supporting. And for many of the black students, we didn't have that. But anyway, we had to do what we need to do.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you need to perform. So I just immersed myself in the opportunities that were there. That's when I then developed the skill of public speaking. So every competition that the school had, I was there. I was presenting, I was reading, I was speaking everywhere. And so once again, 5 years.
Yeah. And the link between you wanting to be a doctor and this happening, it was natural. It was not like this is my new dream.
No.
Or my new passion.
No, but now this is
like you are just here.
Yeah, but now this isn't quite you and doctor. I doctor na yabona ukuthi la ngeke silunge la. And now I'm being exposed, right?
Yes.
Once again. That's when I met Dr. John Tibani, because his son went to the same school that I went to.
Okay.
And then that's when I met him. So 5 years, I make sure that I maximize. I leave the school with general honors. So general honors is the highest sort of achievement that the school can give you.
Okay.
Right? So yeah, it's quite a humbling moment, because I can still go back to St. Albans now and my name is still on that board. Right?
Wow.
And I can take my future kids there and they can, and say, I can also take my exes there. The ones that they decided that I'm not the one. When they doubt me, I take them back there and say, you see.
I just want us to do a tour.
No, let's do a tour. Yeah. Funny enough, there's a lady that I used to be in a relationship. I took her there. Yeah. She's like, oh, wow, you went to the school. Wow. Manje yabona ukuthi yabona manje ingwenya le. Angangithatheli phansi man. Yeah, okay, ngibuye lokushini man, angangithatheli phansi man.
Like your name is in the board.
No, it's there. It's there.
It's
not on the board, the chalkboard. It's there.
It's like laminated.
So I had to. It's there.
Yeah.
And I had to make sure once again that I was the head of house, etc. My first international trip to America was at St. Albans, right, through the choir. So we went to America for 3 weeks, fully funded.
Sure.
Right, by the school and by people behind the scene whom I don't know, whom I'll forever be grateful for.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was just doing what I was doing, and I'm always grateful that, I say this when I speak to kids at school, that I truly and genuinely believe that there are people that God has blessed financially.
Yeah.
And their mandate and purpose is to find a young Pumzile, a young Sibusiso, and to invest in them. And we need to make sure that there's a return. That's it.
Yeah.
My second trip to Malaysia and Singapore was at St. Albans, the only black guy playing in the first team hockey. So now, the 5 years coming to an end of that bursary.
Sure.
I need to decide where I'm going, on what I'm going to do, right? And there was something that we used to do in high school. This word exposure is in my spirit, right? We have something called job shadowing.
Oh, yes.
So when you're in grade 11, like all the grade 11s are given a week off school to go and spend a week in a company or in an industry, in a company or an industry or a field that you're interested in, to learn and to find out.
Learn and find out.
Right.
Yeah.
So
like now we will say take a girl child to
that's
school,
it.
but in that environment for everybody.
That's
grade
it.
11s.
All the grade
which
11s.
Is important.
So
I think
critical.
in the stuff that we do where I work currently, that is so important to shape. That's why I was asking you about the dreams at that time of awareness, because the exposure, when you don't know, you wouldn't, as you were saying, exactly. Yeah.
So when you're then exposed, then you meet someone. It's like, no, I want to become a geologist. What?
Yeah.
Who's that? I want to become an actuary, because why now they've been exposed to it. So the work what I did there was journalism, because I love football.
Okay.
So I spent like a week Esokalatuma, the office is Esokalatuma in Rivonia, being exposed to it, and that was like a.
Now my daughter talked about the voice. So now I can link.
Yeah.
Ladu. So okay. And you said choir.
Yeah, no. But I think the choir was more the looks and not the voice.
Oh.
Every choir, kona longa kwazi ukucula lo. No, I don't kwazi ukucula lo. Now uyambona nje ukuthi but because of the appearance, we're gonna listen. You just mime.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just miming.
You were just miming, so now we know. Now we know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So back to the question. I then maximized that 5 years, right? And once again, blessed, man. There's always, wherever you are, there's always someone watching.
Yeah. Oh, true.
There's always someone watching.
True.
And so, yeah, man, God's so good. While I was in matric, there is the past CEO of SAICA.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Terence Ndombele.
Yes.
I don't know if he's the past, but he's been a CEO of SAICA.
Yes.
And his son went to St. Albans.
Yes.
It's just funny how, this one knows this one, this one knows that one, and they'd been seeing the work that I was doing. So now it was time for me to go to university.
Oh yes, when you're making a choice now.
Yeah. And now then the school put out my profile, they sent it out to all the parents, and then there was a particular individual who said, yeah, this is the man I want to invest in. Then that's when I went to the University of Pretoria.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then you did?
I did a Bachelor's of Commerce in business management.
Okay.
And I did business management because I was good at business management in school.
Okay.
Right? There are many students who go through that route and that decision.
Yeah.
Once again, because you're not really exposed. Once again, that you could be something else. You can take the talent that you have and turn it into a business. We're not exposed to entrepreneurship and the opportunities that are there. So that I then went and did a Bachelor's of Commerce in Business Management. Oh,
okay. So at Laduma, what did you get out of that? Because
the environment, it was just so you've got a journalist that is now having to reach a top football player, so you learn about processes that you have to go through. You have to film this one to get to that one. You have to.
So it didn't then spike there. I want to be in PR. I want to do journalism, media, and all that. So it was just that.
Not really.
Okay.
It didn't spark that. I think because of my mind was still around the speaking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my heart was still at the speaking, learning the business side of speaking, wanting to do more speaking, but I'd go and do the job shadowing because I have to.
You had, grade 9, you are sent somewhere.
Yeah, I've got to do it anyway.
So then tell me, for now you are one of the, in South Africa you are.
Booms, before you go there, I must say, I did graduate.
Oh, okay.
Why I'm saying this is because there are people... that think these motivational speakers, life about trapile,
and then they want to motivate us to get up. Because they dropped out. I didn't seize that opportunity. I am here to tell you, do it now.
Then they go but what's up with his life. So I went to university and I did the Bachelor's of Commerce in Business Management, and it was a 4-year degree, right? So I failed maths in high school.
Okay.
And because I failed maths, I couldn't go and do BCom Communications Management, which is what I wanted to do. So I had to go and do maths again. Basically, it's grade 13. When you done in matric, you have there's this culture where you give away your books.
Yeah, you die.
Yeah, don't know a 9 maths book. And the maths grade 13. Yeah, grade 13. You must go. And it was 4 years.
Yeah.
And it didn't take me 4 years. It took me 6.5 years. Right. One of the reasons it took me that long was because I was not spending time in classes and in lectures.
Yeah.
So where was I? I was at schools motivating learners. I would miss class because I've been invited by school in Mamelodi or at Richfield to go and motivate, to go and inspire, to go and empower these learners. So it was like varsity was like a side hustle. It was just I'd go because I have to, and then I'd classes and having to write tests and exams, etc. I wouldn't do. But I always encourage the learners that it may take you longer. Delay is not denial. You start, there are no fees. Melu hambi yosebenza, sebenza ShopRite, sebenza Lagmelu, sebenza corner, get the fees, go back, do it again. And I always say this to the learners as well, that now when I sit with my peers who finished in record time, no one is asking how long did it take you. We all sit as graduates at the end of the day, right? So it may take you longer, but delay is not denial.
You just, this is why I don't prep questions. That's why I don't like questions, but we are here. Why I love conversations and hosting this conversation, sometimes it also helps me and my mind, and that's why I definitely make sure that they go out.
Sure.
Because you are sitting here, you are talking about your journey that I am currently going through. I told you that when we did coaching, I always felt like there's something missing. That's why I'm not moving up the ladder. Something is missing. I'm not qualified enough, and I always wanted to qualify on something, qualify. And I decided to go register to do my BCom degree. And first, second, third year went. Now the last year is trapping me to a point whereby, I nearly had a moment of crying, where hence our topic, actually the topic which leading to an upside of failure. Because it's one of those things when you talk to motivational speakers, you experience different things. You go research, you find out, you meet people, and these are the things that help people. You just spoken to something that I'm going through, where in my head, I'm going to finish record time. Because I got this. And it's not happening. And it's not happening. And now I have a decision. I registered. One module I've been failing. I think this is the third. Third time. And classes started. I didn't attend because I feel so demotivated. I feel so depressed. I know I'm not a failure. But I somehow feel like it. And I started drafting the email to say, I don't think I'm gonna do school this semester. Because I'm still in the midst of that with the fear now. What is it that I'm not getting? Because in my head, next year, it was my mark when I turned 50, the graduation and everything. I had a plan for April. And already I know that the plan is off, and I'm feeling so depressed. But I like that statement. The delay.
The delay is not denial. Kono munyu mama ohlala khona lapha la ngihlala ngakhona. I think she's past retirement now, and she went on her first international trip to Thailand, I think at the age of 67. And I was like, wow, we're so hard on ourselves.
So mad.
We are so hard on ourselves. You learn the story about the guy who founded KFC, and at the age that he came up with this recipe, he was over 60. And look at KFC today.
My partner will say the secret recipe.
It's the secret one. So there's a lot that we can learn and be inspired and be empowered by these journeys. And social media as well. It's just the social media. People say I'm blaming social media. Social media is a platform.
I have that question about social media.
Okay, let's stop right there.
No,
You running the interview, I will answer
No,
the
it's
question.
the beautiful thing is it's conversations.
Yeah.
This is why I like.
So, and at times I think it's okay to take a break, eh?
Yeah.
We're not having enough of these conversations of no, take a break.
Take a break. Yeah.
And go recharge.
Yeah.
Go recharge.
Yeah.
So that when you do come back, you don't make the same mistakes. So that when you do come back, you finish off, because you want to get into it. It's just like you got into one relationship, you came out of it, you into another one, then you got another, then you into, but you've never taken time to reflect and go, where's it going wrong?
Yeah.
You know, so it's okay to take a break.
Yeah.
And then the other question becomes, but who's putting you under all of this pressure?
Self. Yeah.
Is it self? Is it family?
Yeah.
Is it partner? Is it the environment?
Is it,
you know?
Yeah.
So you have to.
It's like your societal standards.
Yeah.
You know, in everything, be it marriage, be it school, be it everything else, you need to become something. You know, something. You try chasing the something that you don't even know because you have not looked into you. You're chasing outside of self because you are told you should be like that, or maybe this and maybe that.
It should be like this at this age. You should be like that at this age.
Exactly. You know, when you touched on social media, the upside of failure, you are so practically. I always knew about, you know, social media. Don't look at, but we are the generation of happy pictures and all that, but very sad. You know, behind the corners. Currently, I have somebody running my social media. In the midst of
levels, you've got somebody. You have somebody running your social media.
Okay, before I go to coaching, you know, we taking this girl as a brand, as a business. This is the business now. This is the business, guys. Yeah. So what she's doing with my profile now, so she posts, she has the pictures, she has everything else. The day there's another, on other Friday, she posted like a beautiful picture and, you know, happy Friday and all that. And when that Friday, that day, if you could have seen me at home with big eyeballs from crying and feeling so depressed, not wanting to go on, not wanting to go back to the office, not like I'm done. I feel like I don't want a life.
You're depleted.
I don't want a life.
Yeah.
Like can I just sleep? Then social media, somebody sees me and like and do the love, and I'm, you know, when I was looking at the comments, and I'm like, whoa, social media, guys.
If only.
What you're seeing there and what's real here, two different things.
Two different things. You decide what you want people to know.
Yeah.
You decide what you want people to know and what you want people to see.
Yeah.
You decide.
And you decide what you consume. You
decide what you consume as well. Social media is a platform.
Yeah.
And the platform, you decide what you want to use it for.
Yeah.
Right.
This is why I got somebody now. Because now I know why this platform, how I need to use it, and why I need it now.
Yeah. And
not before. To connect to lawyer, I was a primary. I must remember the surname. Yeah,
but people are now they're married with our soulmates. They've taken I must say names way too and not what as a maravan because and
and then now every day you wanna look and check what's going on. Oh guys,
I'll unfriend you, I dare you. I'll unfriend you now. So you know, Pums, with social media, the people need to understand that the person behind what we see is a human being. We don't get that.
Who's going through a human experience.
That's it. Who's got emotions like me and you. Yeah. These people that we see on social media do not live on a different planet, in a different world.
It's here.
We all breathe the same air.
Yeah, we are.
We live in the same world. We all go through challenges.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe you have to be emotionally intact.
Yeah.
When you then start to boom. Right now you start to trend and people start to love what you do, right? And you'll see it. There are people that don't even know you but don't like you.
That's what I wanted to also ask. When did that moment come for you when now you started to realize that, okay, you did business management, I get it. Okay, business, entrepreneurship, or speaking, it can be something that you can monetize and run a big, because in your title, you're entrepreneur, keynote speaker, master of ceremonies, which you've separated, and obviously the coach. So when did it then make sense to you? Where were you going in the invitations, other than the school now, to say, hey man, the platforms I'm playing at are big. Now I'm a brand.
I can't pinpoint exactly when it was. What I can say is I was blessed to be exposed to people who have been in the industry for a very long time, who could then say to me, you know that you can diversify, right? So just from this, I can facilitate. Just from this, I can MC, I can speak, I can voice over. But once again, you need to be exposed. And all of those things are skills that can be learned. Right? My mentor, Dr. John Dibani, would say to me all the time that not everything that can be done must be done.
Not everything that can be done must be done.
So just because I can be a voiceover artist doesn't mean I must do it.
Okay. There's your answer, girl. Okay.
Do you understand? No, we're gonna do it. I know, I'm not. It was just something that
I get it.
That came at the top of my mind. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But I like that analogy, because sometimes we as people, like as an example, I've always wondered what people see in me. And people will tell me a lot of things that I'm good at. But those things are the ones that I feel pressure to do, but actually I feel like they're not my purpose. You know, that kind of thing way. So it makes like perfect sense, because then you start wanting to do what people say you are good at. No, actually maybe that's not the one you should be doing. You realize, I think the more you spend time with yourself, you get clarity. That's why I value silence. I can literally sit and be quiet, because a lot of the answers that we are looking for, we have them within us,
but we won't know those answers, right, and implement them because of the noise that's around, right? And the more you do it, it just becomes clearer. There are things that life has this thing of like, you want to go this way, but it keeps pushing you the other way. And you should stop and reflect and go, but why?
Why do I?
I keep getting more invites to do this and do this. I keep reading books that have to do with this particular subject. When I'm with friends, they speaking about it. Which then comes to a law, which is the law of attraction. The law of attraction says you will invariably attract into your life people, ideas, and circumstances that harmonize with your most dominant thoughts. So that which you think about the most and meditate upon, you will attract through people, through experiences, etc. Which is why then I love the mind.
That's why when you open anything, your Facebook and all that, all those things.
It's just like I
was thinking about that. Why am I seeing that podcast?
There are people who are watching now this conversation who owe people money.
What?
and we are shokuthi ngamhlanje 27 abantu baholile. Uyazi ukuthi usibuku shop esentini, and you decide that you're not going to go to Sentin, you're going to go to Maponya, and ngizothola Maponya. How would you? Because you think now, the emotions are like, how can this so shop in Maponya? And honest cut young go Lord, that's just an example of a lot. But it's also about like when you're constantly thinking about this car that you want.
Seeing exactly what
is that? So
exactly.
Why are we not then encouraging people to focus on the things that they desire? And not focus on what you don't desire. Because when you focus on what you don't desire and meditate on it, you'll see more of it. Don't do this.
And then it becomes
parents
so
with kids. Ungayenzi so. No, yenza so.
Oh yes.
Yenza so.
Oh, so
you're shifting the focus. And remember, where focus goes, energy follows.
Repeat that.
Where focus goes, energy follows.
Energy follows.
It follows. Every time you want to shift energy, you shift focus.
Like the camera lens.
That's it.
Bring it close,
That's it. So back to your question. I didn't know when it was.
Yeah.
I've had to learn to which is the hardest thing because I'm someone who likes being in control.
Yeah.
I want to know what I'm going to do.
Yes.
And if my mind is on it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Now I've had to be like, listen to my inner voice.
Yeah,
you know, I want to do more of this, but the voice says no. Do more of that. Do more of that. Do more of that. So I've then expanded and grown as a brand and the things that I can offer because I've been exposed to it.
Highlights of the places where you've been, you know, the speaking opportunities. Which highlights of events that you can remember, or platforms, or years?
I
know you did a lot.
That. Yeah, it's my 11th or I think 12th year. Speaking and motivating. So to answer your question,
sure. Okay, you are be biased, now, like the whole tour that you did with me, but okay, it's not the one.
Yeah,
but anyway,
we've done tours. Oh, there was a big highlight. I spoke to interns.
Okay.
Teacher interns from St. Peter's Prep. So St. Peter's Prep has a program that they run. Okay. They take teachers, interns, and then, you know, they take them through the entire process with the goal of then turning them into teachers.
Oh, okay.
And then they invited me to come and speak to them, right, on how to maximize it. And yeah, when you just learn to be obedient to the inner voice, you know, I prepared a talk.
Okay.
But then I was just speaking then from the heart.
From the heart.
Right? And as I said, I've been doing this for more than a decade now. Yeah. I had never seen so many people cry.
Oh wow. So
yeah, you have to ask because I don't know, maybe, but then I get testimonials.
When you say
right?
that, Sam Gemhlong, I was watching one of her interviews. She was saying more or less the same thing, that sometimes don't box yourself to your gift or your purpose, because when you get to an environment, yes, you will do your research, know your audience, what are they looking for and what is it that they need from you, but as soon as you enter the room, for some reason that inner voice that will tell you what is required for that audience that's there, and when you start speaking to them for what they need, than you coming as I'm gonna just show them I am this, and then you lose them. So it makes sense why they cried, because you spoke to the people who you needed to speak to.
I've done work with big brands. I won't mention them.
No, yes, I've seen. That's why. Because the one thing I don't do bio and read and all that, so that people can just go see what you have done.
Those other brands, they don't pay me. That's why I'm not going to speak about them. Only when they start paying me, I will tell people about.
I was a Mereki before, so and I've paid you, so and I'm glad you are here today.
But so, lastly, Pums, I've learned as well, you know, throughout my journey, is I would be put in spaces where I feel that I don't deserve to be here. I don't qualify to be here. At 22 years old, I'm invited to go and speak to CEOs, right? Wow. Or Prime Media. Prime Media had this conference where, a talk rather, where they brought in the different CEOs of the different brands and companies that Prime Media runs. Yeah. And they've invited me.
At 22 years old.
At 22. I don't have a degree, don't have a house, don't have a car. I'm just a student, and now I must go and tell CEOs how they can best connect with young people.
Oh wow!
And I thought to myself,
okay, so we are back. We were talking about you then being invited to speak to CEOs.
Yeah.
Sure. That's a moment.
It was intimidating. It was daunting.
Sure.
Yeah. Who am I?
So your focus was the CEO, not what they called you for. You had that moment to say, "Oh, I'm a young person.
Yeah,
they want to know how to connect to
young people." And I thought to myself, like, what am I doing here? Sure. And you have many people who find themselves in those positions where you are put into a room where you feel that you don't deserve. And as I've grown and I'm more wiser, I've learned to appreciate the fact that firstly I'm there.
Oh yeah.
And secondly, I wouldn't been invited if I didn't have any value to add.
Oh.
You only get invited if there's value that you're bringing to the table.
The self-negative talk.
Yeah.
We do that a lot.
And then you do the comparison between you and who you're going to speak to and what they have and no.
Yeah. Just
No. There are things that you know, regardless of your age, which you specialize in, which you're extremely good at, that the top CEOs in the countries don't know.
Yeah.
That's why they've invited you to come and speak about that.
Yeah, and they're not 22 anymore.
No, they're not 22 anymore. So it's to encourage people who may find themselves in those rooms to... the emotions that you're going through are real. Yeah. Right? But always remember that you are invited because there's value that they've seen in you. If they didn't see value in you, they wouldn't have invited you, right? And then when you get that opportunity, you have to make the most out of it.
You know, I know you've taken it to another level, but I think just in any circumstances, be it in your own home, be it if you go to work, your employer, the fact that you've given an opportunity to be there, there's value to you being there. Just look into it and just be, and not... I'm speaking to myself anyway, because this is a situation that I think I always put myself in, where I get exposed and I get called, but I always have that self like, why me, and instead of...
Do you know that CEOs also have the same thing?
Sure.
There is no human being, I believe, in this world who doesn't have that.
The why me syndrome.
There's a CEO who's running a multi-million rand company
and questioning themselves,
who then gets invited to sit on a board of billionaires and thinks, what am I doing with my life? And they start to question themselves. And I mention this because at times you feel like you're the only person that's going through this. We all do. We all do. Now, I learned this from an incredible gentleman, Creflo Dollar.
Oh yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And he was speaking about how one of the ways in which we can stop the negative thoughts. Because when you meditate on it, anything that you meditate on becomes bigger. Right? It's like a microscope. Or when you put on, right?
Yeah.
And he said one of the ways to stop a negative thought is to speak a positive one.
Oh yes.
Try it.
Note it and then
speak. Because you can't think negative and speak positive.
Oh. Sure.
You cannot.
Ooh.
So when you find yourself deep in why, speak positive. Speak positive words. Speak that which you desire. You know. So the mind is really powerful. And when also we could have an entire podcast about this of when you find yourself in such spaces as well, or such industries, or you're invited to a meeting. You know, we spoke about value. We spoke about you making use of that opportunity, and just like, hey man, I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, somebody said to me, there are times that you know, God will expose you to these opportunities to give you a taste of what He could give you. So you're exposed to certain people to get you to think bigger.
Yeah.
To say, I've got more for you.
I feel like this conversation is more for me and my mind more than anything else. It's the funniest thing, a lot of things that I've battled with, you know, in my life, like where I would always question, why am I always being called in the CEO's office and all that? And I would dread it because, you know, so that's why I feel like this is so much for me, and I'm grateful for it. That's why I'm not even asking more questions. I can listen to you because I feel like this is the conversation I needed to hear and have today.
Lastly, when you are then invited into these spaces to be with CEOs or your manager, your boss, your shareholder, these are people that you admire. These are people that you look up to. This is what I teach in the public speaking training that I run, is titles clarify responsibility.
Okay.
That's it. Titles don't dictate the level of treatment or the pedestal that you put people on. So this is what I find with people who then go and present. They clarify roles. This is what I then find with people who have to go now and present to CEOs. I'm like, bro, leave the titles. Speak to the human being in the heart.
Yeah.
And you respect and you honor, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
But we then take people and put them on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Right. So when you put people on a pedestal,
then you
come down
because you are the one who's putting them. Then you leave yourself here.
Then you have a thing where people say, and I learned this from Dr. John DeMartini, who's a behavioral psychologist. That whatever it is that you see in people that you admire is also in you.
Within you.
I'll repeat that.
Yeah.
So whatever it is that you see in people that you admire is also in you.
Sure.
It's in your highest values. Let me go deep on that. Your highest values are the things that you're inspired from within to do.
Sure.
That you don't need external motivation to do. So everyone in this world, consistent, discipline, everyone is consistent. Everyone is disciplined. Everyone is focused. Everyone is a high achiever only in the things that they inspired from within to do. So that which we see in people is also in us. So I used to look at these speakers and go, I bet these people are, but I have what they have, just not in what they do, but in what I do.
In what you do. Sure.
Yeah. If we were on the stage, I would have dropped the mic.
Drops the mic. Not yet. Not yet. You know what I want to talk to you about, which is slowly in closing. I wanted you so that people can hear who you are, and obviously, yes, your big part is always in your titles. CEO.
Yeah.
As the CEO.
The other CEO.
The other CEO. As that other CEO, you know. So you empower others, you motivate others, you get everybody else going, you know, to go and wanting to be better self. We all human beings.
Yeah.
We hit highs and lows, you know. The platforms that you are part of, they always on a get up, go, like how you would wake up and go run every day and all that. But then there are times whereby life happens where you're not there. Have you ever hit a moment where you can't even motivate yourself, a moment whereby you go through a human experience whereby I'm done, I can't do this, I cannot, even if I can say, hey, get up and go, like I cannot even turn back and be the others who will say get up and go, like get up and go, leave me alone, I don't want to do anything. Have you shared any experiences in your journey that has put you on the other side where you need somebody to say it's me?
Yeah, I have, and we were having this conversation earlier on, you know, so I think it was last year October. Yeah, it wasn't last year October. Cut the long story short, I'd gone out with friends and unfortunately I was spiked. So something was poured inside my drink. And by the grace of God, I got home. I don't know how I got home, but I got home. And then from then on, it was just like downward spiral, you know. So then I'd be going out like a lot. I don't want to go too much into detail, right? But then I then reached the point where all I wanted to do was do nothing, right? So I didn't, as a matter of fact, I would get invitations to go and speak, or to go and serve and be paid for, which I then declined because the cup was empty.
Sure.
You can't pour out of an empty cup. I didn't want to do it, and it's only a matter of time before people see it, and you yourself as well will feel it.
Sure.
That I can't do it anymore. So that went on for some time, and then you will find something, whatever it is, that will give you a temporary satisfaction or temporary gratitude for that time. And then when you're alone, it will hit you again. And now it's like, okay, but then who do I go to? Because I'm the guy that's always giving. Or the woman that's always giving, the individual that's always giving. When you are depleted and empty, where do you go and refill? You know? And I'd gone through that for a very long time. I think I used to judge depressed people. Just didn't get it. Just like, get up, dude. Like, what's wrong with you? It's easy to judge until you go through what they're going through. And that was a big wake up call for me, because then I was going through depression, and the thing about what I was going through, I don't even know if I want to term it depression, because I haven't really studied what depression is and what it really means, and I don't want to give terms to what I was going through and call it depression. Maybe it might have been something severe and deeper. I don't know. But when you are there, the people who are close to you, you push away. You don't want anyone close to you. Even people who want to assist you.
I remember I felt rejected.
You know, so people are,
no, this is not school.
People are phoning because they that's the other thing as well. When you've always been somebody who gives, right, who supports, who loves, when you then reach a point when you can't do those things, people will treat me based on how they know me. But then they take away the human being element. So now you're no more a provider, we must treat you differently. Why? You're a human being, you're just going through that particular season. Right? And people need to get that. And then people also need to respect the decision that you're making at that time. Which is hard. Because you're pushing people away, yet you need the very same people that you're pushing away. And something will happen to you.
Because I remember in one of my messages was, when you're ready.
That's it. And I appreciate that. Then it gives the individual space to regain themselves, right, to go and refill, and then I went through that period of time, and I would like to quote it like it was a season. You know, I see it as a season. It comes and it goes, and I was then able to get clearer on where I was going. I knew that I'm under spiritual warfare as well, so I needed to pray. I needed to pray. The people that I was spending a lot of time with, right? So sometimes you need to go through that season, because that season then gives you clarity. Because it forces you to be alone.
To that alone time.
It forces you to be alone, that silent moment. And then the question becomes, how have you bounced back? Because now I'm back.
I know. That's why I was like,
full tank.
I see you.
And someone's watching and saying, but how do I, and what has helped me? I'll share what has helped me, because it's different for different people. It's to go back to the things that fill you up. Go back to the things that energize you. So I then went back. I just I can't pinpoint. I just decided today I'm going for a run. Because I know that when I go for a run, and I come back, there's ideas that I have. I feel like now I'm back on track, right? So you go back to the things that fill you up, right? And secondly, you be patient with yourself, which is one of the challenges that I have. When you've been doing so for such a long time, it's just like, but Sbu, you went through a season of hell for like 8-9 months. You've been in a season of heaven for 3 months and you're expecting the same result. It's not. You have to be patient with yourself, right? And take it a day at a time, and write down the lessons that you've learned. Which is very important. Write down the lessons that you've learned, and then you also shift your focus from what was to where you're going. Because once again, where focus goes, your energy will follow. So then I had to shift my focus, right? To say, okay, that's in the past, I can't change it. And people will watch and go, but that's easier said than done. This is what I do daily.
Shift.
Daily I do this. And I learned that I have to prioritize me and look after me, because I can't pour out of an empty cup. Right?
There's nothing in there.
And what has helped as well is, I'm not trying to, now the word is gone. My bundles are not finished. No, don't worry. They're not depleted yet. But the word of God, for me, gives me energy. Right? Because when I read it, and I believe in it, it guides a lot of what I think about and the decisions that I take. Right? So I will know, and what helped me during that time was meditation. On that word. So I would know Isaiah 43:18-19, don't dwell in the past, forget the former things, God is doing a new thing in you. Right? And I'd have to shift my attention to Jeremiah 29:11, for my best days are still ahead of me. Whatever it is that you need to go to, go to it, right? And then when you're ready, then you will come out. And I had to also just and I'm only realizing this now, that you're a human being, which is hard to accept when you're in that moment. When you're in the moment, and also when you are there. When you are there,
we've seen you with sort of they go back to social media.
That's it.
Why are you
That's it.
Like, you can't be sleeping.
You there? Because sometimes life will just burst that bubble and bring you back down to
remember self.
To remember self and to realize that you're a human being. Yeah. And then you will have off days.
Yeah. Nice.
It's not like freeway.
Yeah. So
6 days you're moving, you're shaking your back. 7th day you drop. Boom.
Whew. Sure.
That's why you have to take it a day at a time.
Yeah.
Then you have people that after 6 days, because on the 7th day they stuffed up, they go back to day 1. And I had the conversation with my friend yesterday and saying, bro, you need to take this big goal that you've set and break it down into chunks. I mean, we're in August and you're still talking to me about January and February.
No.
Yafana, no September, October. It's just been like 4 or 5 months out of the 12 months. Do you see that you're even demotivated and discouraged to finish off strong because you will look at the end of the year out of a 12? Where you could just look at it out of quarters. And when the quarter's done, you then move on from that quarter and focus on to the next quarter. But it's about taking it a day at a time. It's about identifying what those triggers are that could take you back to where you used to be.
Triggers are a big thing.
And we all have them. And prayer and doing the things that you love.
Sure.
Doing the things that you love.
You know what I was sharing with you about the group I'm in. You know, the coaching group I'm in with Mind Retirement. That one day at the time, there was a time where I'm like, why do we have to do this every day? You know, and it has taught me to stay in the course, because if you remember every day there will be a new message. What are you doing today? And when you do it, you are able to start tomorrow when you wake up and say, what are you doing today? Like the chunk whereby you can even like put it down to a day, not even 12 months, just what are you doing today?
What are you doing today?
On just today. Then you start tomorrow on tomorrow. Thank you so much for sharing. You know, with the part of the questions that I had for you, you've covered a whole lot of things. You know,
I've gone deeper.
You've gone deeper. You know, because it's just one of those things to say, like, where you get your motivation, like the scriptures that you were quoting, the books, the people that you've met, and all that has helped you to shape different things of life. Just before we end, give me the 3 books that you can tell conversations with the Girl Next Door friends to just read. Whether you are a reader or you're not a reader, whether they keep it or they buy it, just 3 books.
I was going to mention my books.
I was about to. By the way, I was about to say. To say outside of your books. And by the way, before you go to the books, you have 2 books now. Hey, you're working on your 3rd one.
No, the 2. It's
2 books. The first one is
Work Through the Barriers to Success. The second one is titled Secure the Bag. It's not out yet to the public.
Okay, Secure
Only
the Bag.
very special people have gotten a copy.
Okay, and we missed our copy by 2 minutes, but it's coming this week.
Yeah.
So the 2 books, because I got the first one, and I know I gave my son as well your first one. Yeah. So yes, we have your first.
It's part of the bookshelf. What's your
those are the so outside of those 2, I still need 3. Or which books shaped, or which books that maybe helped you through whatever, or that you were like, you know what, this book, it's a must, or it did me good.
As a Man Thinketh.
Oh yeah.
The title of the book is Think and Grow Rich.
Okay, Think and Grow Rich.
Napoleon Hill. Think and Grow Rich. That book is
wow.
You can't be the same after reading it. Only if you do what's in that book. That's the thing about books.
Oh yes.
Right? You read them, but then you don't implement. Then it becomes shelf development, not self.
Oh yes.
Anyway. So your shelf is growing.
Not shelf development. Not self development.
No, there's no books here. Don't worry about that. We're not seeing books. Think and grow rich.
God, I'm not slow.
Think and Grow Rich. Another book to read, and I keep going back to it, is Managing Emotions for Financial Freedom.
Oh,
Dr. Mavis.
I haven't.
Oreke.
Yes.
Incredible.
That I have that book.
Absolutely incredible.
Oh my God, you're so
That's
right.
a book I wish I had
Sure.
read through while I was in university.
Oh wow.
Because a lot of decisions that I made, it's because I couldn't manage my emotions. Yeah.
With me, it was financial emotions. The way I was with money, and that book helped me through the transition.
Yeah.
Because I come from an environment whereby money was never a problem.
Yeah.
You know, and I was against money.
Yeah.
Because I felt like my mom then had a big head, or because they have everything, and I wanted not, and anything money, I couldn't even. Okay, I'm still working through it. But when I'm like,
it's a journey.
Let me coach 100,000, I will have to sweat. Like
yeah.
But that book, no. Thank you for bringing that one up. I'm gonna reread it again because I think
the books that you always go back to.
Yes.
There's books that you always go back to based on also the season that you're in.
Yeah.
So the season will dictate the book that you read.
I tried the monk.
The monk who sold his Ferrari.
Yeah. The season I was in, it was not hitting. I know it was not hitting. Those are the three.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Read the book after you get a Ferrari and sell it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Maybe next.
Yeah.
Soon. It's
a good book. There's the last book is Take a Day Off.
Oh, okay.
It's by Pastor Robert Morris.
Okay, Take a Day Off.
Yeah, I read that book. It just speaks about how, because we're in such a culture, in such a world where it's hustle.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah, team no sleep.
Team Gauteng.
Yeah, we're moving. Yeah, you need to refill. You need to refill. And I'm working on a keynote that gets people to look at themselves like a car, and not just any other car, but like an M4, right? Which has got the potential to get from here to Bloemfontein quickly. Right, but that car needs to go for a service. Now you don't take an M4 for service to a guy holding his amateurs. You take it to the person who's a specialist.
True.
So if you see yourself as a car, you don't take yourself to anybody. You take it to somebody who knows you, who's a specialist. To drive from here to Bloemfontein or to Durban, you need to stop and refill. Otherwise, you're gonna blow out the engine, and then you won't get there. So,
sure,
you've got the potential to get there quickly.
Yeah.
Right. You need to refill. You need to look after yourself. You need to. Yeah. And it's huge on. It's more of a book that focuses also on faith. I enjoy it. I love it. Christian, born again. And I'm in this culture because I'm an entrepreneur, 7 days, team no sleep, Joe, but I've made it a habit now that on Sundays I don't do any work.
Oh, okay.
So for me, it's to honor the Sabbath, right? But also by honoring the Sabbath, I'm then putting my trust in God, because there are things that I'm supposed to be doing on that Sunday. Now, your Sabbath doesn't have to be a Sunday, but that book challenges you about, the Sabbath.
Your day too.
To recharge, and be like, no, God has got this, right? Yeah, and you're seeing it now. People are dropping because they depleted. And some things have to wait.
True.
Some things have to wait, so that you can fill yourself up emotionally. Take a day off. Take a day off. And a day off means that you switch off
and do nothing. And if it means sleep the whole day, try that.
Because you have people that go on leave and they come back to work tired than when they left.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
because they haven't switched
cleaning,
off. Spring clean. You switch off.
And that's why my December, like in my life, it's been like that. That's why I don't identify with the whole Christmas, New Year, and all that.
Yeah.
With all the fighting like South North.
Yeah.
December, I make sure that I do nothing. I switch off. I don't even do Christmas. I don't Christmas. Even though they're cooking 7 hours and having family and all that, I don't, because then it defeats the whole purpose. Because then it's the 31st, and it's a new year. I'm working on the South African calendar. Like I'm here, and I don't do that in that not calendar time.
Yeah.
Because by the time you January to go back to life, you are depleted, you are tired. Because you were hectic from the 16th to the 1st. It's like I switch off, I spend time with me, and before I liked Habib because he used to take the kids to Mpumalanga and I would have me time. And even I can fast, like the whole fasting easy because I am lazy, I don't want to cook, I don't even want, so it will be like I'm fasting.
Fasting by force.
By force. So it was good. But Sbu, last question.
So when I mean switch off as well is
even yes.
So I put this on
because
flight
social media.
Yeah. You disconnected but you connected.
Proper.
Yeah.
In one of the challenges of August, it's also choose that one day where you're gonna switch off everything. So I need to choose in the 3. There's declutter, 1 for 30 days where you take out one thing a day, and 2 second until the end of the month. And then I'm leaning towards the 2, having that one day of switch off because in the social media space and all that, WhatsApp and all that, you become part of it and you know how to. So I'm one of those so I'm thinking of the 2, but I think I'll do the timeout one. Lastly, Sbu, before we close, what do you want people, my conversations, girls and boys next door, to take away from this conversation in closing? But before you go there, okay, but I must close. So I thought I'll just go but then in closing, so people, you must remember to like, subscribe and share this video. Just give it to me. What do you want people to take from this conversation? Close us.
There's a lot.
We spoke about a lot.
Yeah, we spoke about a lot. If there's one thing I would like people to take away from this conversation is stay true to your highest value. Stay true to your highest value. Your highest value is the things that you're inspired from within to do.
From within.
Yeah. You don't need external motivation to do them. You always, when you need some sort of get up and go, no. There are things that you're inspired from within to do, that you love, that you're obsessed with, that even if they said there's no money, you'd still do. Because when they said stay in your lane, I thought stay in your lane based on the car that you drive. Because I was a fast lane test, but
you dropped the test.
My dad drives the tires. He's gonna be at me when he sees this. I never used to get it, but now for me that's what it means. It means stay true to the things that you're inspired from within to do. Because when you do, that's when you're consistent. When you do, that's when we see the magic.
Or when you do
those things, when you do the things that you're inspired from within to do, that's when we see the magic. Every individual that's watching, there's a genius inside of you. And there's a line, I never used to get it, but now I get it. I completely get it. It's even a message to parents who are watching, who have got kids, that one of your responsibilities is to identify what this kid does.
And let them do that.
What that kid is inspired from within to do.
And let them
and then find institutions and support that will elevate what that kid can do.
Yeah.
Right? So stay true to your highest value, because that's when we'll see the genius in you. And I understand not everyone is in a position where they can do that, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you are doing a job and manje sona bantwana, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
But let that be part of your vision.
Sure.
So when you stay true, you don't want, and you do what you do from within, and then we'll see the genius in you.
Guys, I hope you got that. Conversations with the Pumzela, the girl next door. This is, I want you to say your name the way you said it. This is
Handsome Sbu.
This is Sibusiso Joshua Molimi,
signing
the
out.
CEO, Catalyst,
empowering
others. Conversations with the Pumzela, the girl next door. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.